Welcome to another episode of Smart Remarks after week 3 of the NFL season. So much went on during this past week in the NFL season. It is mind-blowing. Let's get this show kicked off. And now for the Markman segment. A lot of people to talk about. First, we're going to talk about two guys, Joe Mays and Matt Schaub, in a positive way. Now, Joe Mays, the linebacker for the Denver Broncos, hit Matt Schaub so hard, he lost a part of his ear. And that, my friends, is good old-fashioned NFL defense. So even though he's getting suspended for one game by the NFL, I applaud you, Joe Mays, for showing these youngsters out here how to play some good old-fashioned, hard-hitting defense. And Matt Schaub still, despite losing a chunk of his ear, lit up the Denver Broncos defense. So great toughness and resiliency from Matt Schaub and the Texans. Now, on the downside, we have in our Markman segment, we have Roger Goodell, Pete Carroll, and Phil Luckett, the video replay official, who you might remember from giving Vinny Testaverde an undeserved touchdown back in 1999, and on Thanksgiving messing up the coin flip with Jerome Bettis, Steelers versus Lions. This Monday night game has to be in the worst ending call to decide a game ever. It's just unbelievable, and I'm not surprised that a guy like Pete Carroll, who did some illegal recruiting, some cheating himself at USC and walked away to get that Seahawks job, would puff out his chest and accept it as it is, or as it was called, excuse me, a legitimate win. And hopefully Roger Goodell takes those owners in the meeting room with the people from the referees association and that union and gets a deal done so we can have the regular officials back for week 4, because this has gone far enough. Now for our Smart Remarks Funky Bunch NFC edition. And at number 5, have to start this list off with the Chicago Bears playing great defense, solid enough running game without Matt Forte to take the pressure off Jay Cutler as a passer. At number 4, have to pay respect to the defending Super Bowl champion New York Football Giants. Defensive line, OCU Manure, Justin Tuck, JPP, all playing great, and Eli Manning may be playing after 3 weeks of football like the best quarterback in the league right now. At number 3, the 3-0 Arizona Cardinals. That defense is definitely for real. After beating Seattle, New England, Philadelphia, and doing just enough on offense with Kevin Kolb at the quarterback position to continue to win week after week. And at number 2, have to have the San Francisco 49ers there. I think that was just a blip at what happened at Minnesota. I don't think anyone's panicked or anyone's worried. I think this team's going to bounce right back next week and play good, consistent football on both sides once again. And at number 1, the Atlanta Falcons. They lose Brent Grime on defense, doesn't matter. The way they're playing defensively and offensively with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, and Mike Turner, unbelievable, unstoppable offense right now. Have to love them. Now for our Smart Remarks Funky Bunch AFC edition. Let's jump right into it. Number 5, I have the New York Jets. Revis done for the year. Jets still are about ground and pound, a little Tebow magic here and there, and playing strong defense. At number 4, I have the San Diego Superchargers. Tough loss to Atlanta, I know. But this is the best they've played in September in quite some time. So Phillip Rivers has his team already on track to do a lot better than they have in previous years. Number 3, very scary, very underrated team, Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, that defense, starting with Geno Atkins, is playing incredible football right now. Number 2, I have the Baltimore Ravens, off an emotional win off the Patriots, avenging not only the AFC Championship game from last year, but also what happened with Torrey Smith's younger brother. He played amazing, played courageous that game. And at number 1, the Houston Texans, Matt Schaub, missing part of an year, dominating the Denver Broncos. The Texans still continue to run the ball and play good defense, and that still is a formula for success in winning football games in the National Football League. And now for our pick segment here on Smart Remarks. I know, before you say it, let me just come out and say what I did last week here on Smart Remarks was quite embarrassing. Went 0 for 3, 6-10 for the week. Now my big lead is now a narrow 1-game lead in my Pigskin Pick'em League on ESPN. But I plan to bounce back. I'm making a comeback. Now, all of these games that I'm going to pick involve teams with winning records, and there's only 3 of them this week, so these should all be enjoyable football games. Starting with our Sunday night football game, you have the Giants coming off a long layoff from playing Thursday in week 3, going to the Eagles. Look for the G-men to win this one. Dominant defensive line. Everyone's been hitting Vic, and the Giants will be no different. The next game, you have the 49ers going to New York to play the Jets. No Revis, no problem. The 49ers are going to bounce back from an embarrassing performance in Minnesota, and they are going to dominate the Jets with an even better defense and a more physical style of play. They're everything that the Jets want to be. And on Monday Night Football, you have the Chicago Bears going to Dallas to play the Cowboys in what should be a fun game with quite a number of interceptions, because you have Brett Favre's children and Jay Cutler and Tony Romo playing. They both remind me of Favre so much, but Tony Romo is a more responsible, better player at the quarterback position, so I like the Cowboys to win this football game. And now for our question mark segment. I've been asked on Twitter, when do I think the Eagles will turn to backup rookie quarterback Nick Foles? Well, unfortunately, as an Eagles fan, and for you Eagles fans out there who suffered through 3 games, 12 turnovers with Michael Vick, unless Vick is knocked out, done for the year, or if the Eagles play as bad as they did last year, Andy Reid isn't exactly the smartest or most adaptable of coaches. I mean, he still doesn't know what a run play is, despite having one of the best running backs in football. So, unfortunately, you may not see Nick Foles at all this year, or if the Eagles are already eliminated from playoff contention. Just want to take this time to thank everyone for tuning in to this week to Smart Remarks. We have a big Thursday night game with Baltimore and Cleveland, and more games to look forward to during week 4. Hopefully the regular officials will be back. I'm going to take a knee. See you next week.